Okay, so our last and final step is solving using elimination. So elimination, as I just said, is our last of 3 steps. So pretty much what it comes down to is we're adding both of our equations together and solving for x and y. So this is perhaps the most complicated and simple at the same time method. So this is by far my favorite method. So it's my favorite. And I think it'll most likely be your favorite as well. So let's go over the 3 steps to solving this. Okay? So you need to get either x or y coefficients. So their coefficients to be opposites. So what I mean by that is I want one equation to have 3x and the other equation to have negative 3x. So they're the same number, but one's positive and one's negative. Okay, and you could do that either for x or y. It's a personal preference. It doesn't truly matter. Okay. After you get their coefficients to be the same, you simply add the equations together. So you add the equations together. After you add, then you solve for x and y. And we always write it as an ordered pair, x comma y. Okay, so first things first, with our first example, see where it says 11? I want you to change that to 10. There's always a typo. It's never perfect. Okay, so make that 11 into a 10. All right, cool. So you may notice our first step was to get either our x's or our y's, to be the same coefficient but opposite signs. So I see my y's are a 4 and a 3. They're not the same number, so I'm not really going to touch those. But I do notice that both of my x's are negative x's. So I can simply make one of those positive. And I'm going to do that by multiplying it doesn't matter top or bottom, but I'm going with the top one by -1. So that way it makes this. So I'm just going to write it down here. So I'm writing my equation now down here. And that makes it x plus 4y equal a positive 18. Okay. So now, after I get my x's to be one negative x and one a positive x, I can now add up these equations. I can add them up. Okay. And we're hoping that one of these cancel. So in this case, my x is canceled because I have a negative x plus x. Okay. And now I want to add up my y's. 3y plus 4y gives me 7y. Okay. So I want to add up my y's and I get 3y plus 4y equals 7y. And now I want to do 10 plus 18 is going to give me 28. And now I can solve this. Divide both sides by 7. Y is equal to 4. So now that I have y is equal to 4, I can then take this and I have to plug it back in to either one of my originals. Must plug into an original. Okay, that's really important. We have to plug it into an original. Okay, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That is key. Okay, so that is very key. So you need to remember that. Must plug it into an original. So Doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to plug it in to, let's just say the top one. Okay, so we have negative x minus 4y equals negative 18. So we're plugging this y equals 4 into our original equation. So I have negative x minus 4 times 4 equals negative 18. So negative x minus 16 equals negative 18. Add 16. Add 16. Negative x equals negative 2. Can never have a negative variable. So we divide both sides by negative 1. And then we're left with x is equal to 2. So now we have y is equal to 4 and x is equal to 2. So our ordered pair is then 2, comma 4. Okay, so hopefully that made some sense. We're going to look at the next example, though, and hopefully that'll help. I actually want to look at example 3, because example 2, you're going to go back and do it. So example 3, we want, again, our first step is to either get our x's the same coefficient but opposite signs, or our y's. In this case, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to get my x's to be the same. So since this is a positive 2, and this is a negative 1, I'm going to multiply this bottom by negative 2. Okay, so that now makes my equation negative, no, I'm going to multiply it by a positive 2, I'm sorry. So it's going to make it negative 2x minus 6y equals 12. And I'm getting my signs all mixed up. Okay, so it's a negative 2x minus 6y equals 12. And I'm just going to bring my original equation down. So it's 2x plus 6y equals 4. Remember, we add up these equations. We add them up. And when we add them up, the x's cross out. And then, in this case, our y's cross out. So then we're left with 0 on this side is equal to 16. Is 0 equal to 16? No, right? So my answer here is no solutions. So my answer to this one is no solutions, because 0 does not equal 16. Okay, so hopefully that kind of made some sense. I would like you to then pause the video and work on example 2. So example 2, I'm going to preface with, it's okay to get a fraction as an answer. Okay, so I want you to try example 2 on your own. So pause the video and then once you're done, I'll put the solution up there. Okay, so pause it now. Okay, so hopefully you solved it, and when you solved it, you got 0 equals negative 3/2. Okay, so that's going to be my answer then.